Well, you guys are probably getting sick of me talking about the new farm, the new land and everything, and we will be actually working in Coon Valley on the old properties we've been hunting for years. I can't wait to hunt those this year over in Wisconsin. You know, part of getting a Minnesota farm or Minnesota land, we initially looked at a lot smaller piece, but we've just been truly blessed to get this. But part of it is I want to be able to have tags in Minnesota and Wisconsin. We're only, you know, just across the border from each other, so this works out great. So I apologize if I talk about too much, but I really think some of the things we're doing might help you focus on your projects that you have here this year and really prioritizing your projects that you have. And you know, I'll talk about some of the priorities we had. Of course, we have 178 acres, you know, pretty big chunk. People have asked me online, so I started talking about it. We still are hunting our 30-acre piece in Coon Valley and 40-acre, and we'll be hunting public land this year. I'll be at least Pennsylvania public land, if not Michigan too. You know, I'll hunt other places too. But with all of this, there's always a priority of things to do. And I have not only this land, of course, but Coon Valley to consider too. And really what it's boiled down to is I could spend an awful lot of time walking around the woods. And I thought of this property because someone said the other day, they said, you know, how much of the land have you actually scouted? And my response kind of shocked them, but I said about 95%, and that I have not scouted. 5% I've scouted. And that shocked them because, you know, obviously they think I'd be like a kid in the candy store walking all over the property. Well, we didn't get it till the end of May. So the priority is not for me to know every nook and cranny and tree. The priority has been, where can I put up stand locations that I can actually kill bucks this fall as it relates to the overall movement of the bucks, the movement that I suspect is there. You know, I scout whitetails for a living. So that's what I do, and I like to pick out those movements. I'm trying to talk about a lot of different videos, a lot of different strategies of what I'm doing for this stand location, that, our access, and how it all fits together. And so that's been a huge priority. Getting to know the movements of the bucks, where I can put stands in, how can I get access, and then once I figure that out, those locations I want to hunt, I'm confirming that with historical sign, and I'm confirming that with the movements that are supposed to be there, sticking a trail camera there, often a cell camera first, seeing the movement. If there's bucks that I want to get B-roll of and video footage and HD and bucks that we can name, then I'm sticking a camera back in there at that time. I'm trying to confirm what I see on paper that's there. That's the hunting aspect of it. And of course, we have so many other projects. You know, we planted corn in this field over here. We planted our fall crops. That's such a critical aspect of owning private land. If I couldn't plant those food plots, then I wouldn't buy the land. It's so critical because I can use those fall food plots to dictate and build and be the herd influencer in this area. That's what I teach people to do. And so the food plots were such a priority getting those in. They were immediate. John Comp and then Brandon from First Choice Food Plots, they were out, and we were able to get in the corn right away, even some switchgrass. We put over 2 acres of switchgrass in so far this year, and I have about 5 acres to put in next year, mostly screening and lines. So food plot activities, scouting, making sure I can shoot bucks in those locations, getting tree stands put in those locations. Those are all the hunting side, the food side. And of course, we are in August. You know, a lot of this stuff comes first, but in August, I'm gonna be able to cut some timber down and improve the cover. Even just putting those logs and tops. I've had so many clients that are cutting in September and August and getting great bucks and holding bucks that year where they haven't before because they're just putting lumber down on the ground, tops down the ground, and we wait for that regeneration next year. It's almost like putting dead Christmas trees or pallets down at the bottom of a drop-off somewhere, and you immediately attract those fish. And it's the same with bucks and does and holding more deer on the property in the fall. So lots to do when it comes to the hunting aspect. This is something big. I shot, as many of you know, I shot archery professionally in the past. It was something I traveled around the country for. I was a factory pro staff, on the factory pro staff with Matthews, and I enjoyed doing that for many years. I shot in the Field and Hunter target leagues. I started doing that in the mid-'80s and trying to hone my craft and become better at it. Shot a lot of professional archery, indoors, outdoor Field and Hunter. And this is something right here that I haven't been able to do for a very long time. And that's to set up an actual archery range. I had that in the UP in Michigan, but with all the snow and all the mosquitoes, and I was limited to about 65 yards across the front of the house, and it was something I was even limited there. So I haven't had an actual archery range, I believe, since I lived in Carroll in the Thumb area in '95. And so this is a big project of what we're focusing on. This right here is one lane. We have another lane right over here. I'll be able to shoot 100-yard ranges on either side. and set up 2 big targets down here. Maybe the Morel outdoor targets, the big ones, or outdoor eternity or whatever they call them. But I'm gonna have those down there. I'm gonna have these half bales right here, halfway down. I can shoot on either side of the pole building. That's why I'm using that V, and that'll block the wind. So when I'm shooting out at 80 or 100 yards and trying to hone my skills, get back to my shooting shape of years ago, then I'll be able to shoot on either side of the wind. And I can't wait, because it's something that's very relaxing to me to do, and probably a lot of you out there, is just to sit here and shoot. And so this archery range is a huge aspect of what we're doing on our farm this year. We've mowed all the trails. Ariana's boyfriend Quentin has mowed a lot of the trails on the property here so that we can get in and out with our quiet cats. We can move around the property very quickly, very efficiently, and that's something we'll use for hunting access. So that's more general. We've actually had to mow the lawn all the way around our house. You can see our house in the background over here. So, you know, from house to yard to archery targets to fall food and cover to really honing in on those mature buck hangouts and movements, there's a lot to do this year. And you can see, along with the house, and if I only focused on the deer, I'd be in big trouble in the Sturgis household. But I've been able to focus on the house, the yard, getting things the way we want it and what we're doing, and turning this into our home, our farm, and where we spend our way of life, having friends and family over. It's what it's all about. It's that combination of deer hunting. We're definitely focusing on where I can shoot those big bucks and where Diane can, where the kids can, going into this fall. And you can see little flies floating around here right now. We're so fortunate we don't have really that many bugs out here, mosquitoes. That's another thing, you know, compared to the UP of Michigan where I had a little room to shoot. This is so enjoyable to come out here, not get bit and not have I literally would shoot through a mosquito basically biting me on my eyelid while I was in full draw. And I looked at it like, hey, that was just building me up for those high pressure shots in the 3D or in the woods. And thankfully I don't have to do that anymore. We're waiting for rain because we just put down a bunch of urea on the corn. We were doing that when it was 90 degrees out here, and I'm still sweating like crazy. It's hot and humid. You could maybe hear those storms coming in the background, but that's why I put the urea out, and hey, we might get lucky. We need about a ½ inch of rain to soak that urea in the ground and help the corn out. That's just one more project that we're completing this year on our farm, and I hope you enjoy the journey. This is a little bit more reality TV sometimes than hunting strategy and habitat strategy, but I hope you enjoy what we're doing and moving forward, and I hope you can apply a lot of it to your own projects back home, whether it's scouting, food plots, working on your habitat, or just simply working on your home and your lawn. Join us as we go throughout this year, and as we move into the fall. That's a beautiful time of the year, and I hope the build-up is worth it for you and what we bring to you on this channel. And I can't wait to hear about all your success going into the hunting season, and you can bet we'll share not only our success but our failures along the way, because that's actually how a lot of times we learn the best. Well, if you made it to the end of this video, you're obviously interested in Whitetail Habitat Solutions, what I have to teach, and you will love my new web class series. The first one is how to design your whitetail property. It's out now. The link is in the description. I invite you to check it out. It's on my website. Can't wait to hear about it.